Hey guys, how's it going? I'm up here in one of the new fields. This is the property that my dad bought, where I was running the 700K dozer, fixing the field, pushing the briars off and stuff like that. But anyway, we got good hay here now, and I'm actually square baling it this time. And I've already square baled a lot of it yesterday, but I've still got maybe a couple acres here that needs to be square baled. And this field is not flat. I know it looks flat on camera, but it's not. It's actually very hilly. It has several valleys in it. It goes, there's a hill, it starts here, it goes down, there's a deep valley right there. I'd have to get over here where you can see it. And it comes back up, and it goes down right here, and then it goes back up, and then it dips down and goes up at about a 17 or 18 degree angle over there at the end. So the moral is it's not flat. I need to get an acre meter put in my tractor so y'all can see. This ground is also very rough. It didn't get smoothed up as good as I'd like for it to have. Most of what I run the dozer over is pretty good, but a lot of it that I didn't get over with the dozer is not very smooth. So this land is hard on an accumulator, but I want y'all to see with me. Yesterday the accumulator was doing good on what I baled of it, but I didn't bale the steepest parts. This is the new AF10 that I'm going to be pulling here in a minute. I'm actually getting ready to go get some lunch. I've got the hay raked. I'm going to let it dry just a little bit longer since the sun is shining nice. Oh, gee whiz. Okay, there's a hole right there in the road apparently. Oh, and this is the alfalfa part of it. If you can see through the weeds, what I'm driving through is just a big weed patch, but the alfalfa is looking good. I've already mowed it once. Now it had a lot of weeds in it when I first mowed it, first time I mowed it. But before I mowed it, about 3 weeks before I mowed it, I wiped it with Roundup with a weed wiper. And let's stop here. But it's looking good now. It's coming back. You can see the drill lines in it. It's coming back really good. It's already about, I'd say, 6 inches tall. The orchard grass that I planted in it is coming up good. I don't see many weeds coming back. I mean, there's a few here and there, but there is a few spots that I missed drilling just a little bit, but I'll go back over those sometime with the drill. But yeah, the alfalfa is looking good. I'm pleased with it. Don't know if I'll get any crop off of it this year or not. I didn't, when I first cut it, there was quite a bit of alfalfa in it, but it was probably 40% weeds, dead weeds where I wiped them. The weed wiper did a good job, by the way. So what I did was just mowed it. I didn't even let it dry much. I baled it, and then I gave it to my father-in-law to feed immediately. And he said it was really good hay as far as the alfalfa in it, so he was tickled to death. He ended up giving me some money for it, even though I tried to not take it. He insisted that I take it, so I finally had to. He's just that way. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be baling with the Kuhns AF10, brand new. This is will be the second round of baling that's ever done. The first round, it's on camera too. Y'all can watch it. But and we used it yesterday, but this is still the same field we were working on yesterday. So this is really just the second round of hay that I've used it on. I baled 480 bales with it yesterday. One time it didn't dump. That's the only time it messed up. I had one bale that didn't tie, and I was able to pull it right out of the chute. where the chute is open. I didn't have to didn't have to bail it out and make a big mess like I have in the past with my old one. Not saying the old one is bad. I've really enjoyed the old one, and but I am letting the old one go, the 1036F. I think this new AF10 is going to do just as good, and it's a smaller package and shorter and lengthwise and height-wise, and I think it's going to be. It's definitely a little easier to pull. It's easier on the baler because it's lighter. I just hope it holds up as good, but Kuhns assures me that it will. And I guess if it don't, then they'll take care of me. But you know, I feel confident that they've built a good product, and I'm excited to go forward with the new machine. So anyway, I'm going to eat some lunch, and then I'm going to start baling. Alright, so I am getting ready to drive into a spot that I baled yesterday that kind of scared me when the accumulator went across it, because this doesn't look steep on camera, but it's steep. So I'm going to drive across it again here, and then I'm going to check it with a smart grade or smart level. So I bailed right through here yesterday, and let me get into the steep spot and then we'll stop. Okay, so the accumulator is in a steep position at the moment, and yes, I did bail through here yesterday. The accumulator is actually crabbing sideways right here. I don't know how stable it actually is. It's not very stable. I can pull the wheel off the ground, which is not good. But anyway, let me check it with the smart grade. It does have hay in the chute. Let's see if I can set it here somewhere. Okay, what does it say? This is 18.8 degrees. And oh shoot, this is on the frame of the machine here. 18, bouncing all around. 18.8. Now you can change to percent. This is 34% slope, and that's pretty steep for this device. The tractor feels stable on it, but this is pretty steep for the accumulator, and it looks kind of scary, but it did do its job across here. I wouldn't want to get much steeper than this. So I can jack the front wheel off, I mean the right rear wheel off the ground by pulling on it right there. So 19 degrees is as steep as you want to go with this thing. I'll just tell you that now. But anyway, that's the kind of land that I'm dealing with. This is not the steepest field that I bale. I have one that's 22 degrees, 21, 22 degrees, but I round bale it. So anyway, it didn't look steep, but it is steep. If I can pull on that thing with one hand and raise the wheel off the ground, it's pretty steep. So anyway, here we go. All right, so that wasn't any less scary for me today than it was yesterday, that's for sure. Anyway, it did do it, and it will do it, but I'd say be very, very careful on land that steep with one of these. But they take quite a bit to turn over. Now I don't know, the old one, I think the old one's wider, but it's taller, so it looks just as scary as this one does. So I think they're going to be about the same as far as being able to handle steep land. Time will tell. I really don't want to turn this thing over, because then it's going to mess it up. Won't look near as pretty. Alright, so I'm getting ready to, we're going to go over here. My windrows are down there next to the woods. It is a pretty steep grade going down in there, but I'm going to go down and go across the bottom of the hill, and then go back towards that hill over there, which goes up pretty steep. And I may check the grade on that hill once I start up it, because I'm kind of curious to what it is. And I want y'all to see that I'm not using this thing on flat ground. I mean, it's just not. I mean, you can see from here the rolling hills. It's up and down and around and upside down sometimes. It's like a roller coaster. Actually, this field is really fun, like a roller coaster. If you drive, I have a Razor 1000 Polaris Razor, and you can hit this field, and if you drive straight across here and it goes down and up and down and up and down and up about 3 times. If you go across here about 60 miles an hour, it's pretty daggone fun. I mean, like when you go over the crest of the hills, it feels like your stomach goes up in your throat, kind of like a roller coaster ride. And then when you go down in the valleys, your stomach drops down to your feet, just like a roller coaster. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. All right, y'all can watch me bale here while I'm baling. Obviously, I am spraying. The moisture is better today than it was yesterday, but I am still going to spray it, especially down here around these woods. We'll turn the 4-wheel drive on. Gotta get around this tree. I need to trim some tree limbs down here. This right here is not exactly level right either, but I don't think it's quite as steep as what I just came from. I swear the rear wheel come off the ground, but I could be wrong. The low side is completely loaded. Starting back uphill. All right, I'm going to go back there and check what it is right here. It's not extremely steep, but it's something that I regularly operate on, up and down and across, so I want to check it for you. Okay, so I'm going back here. I'm going to set it on the frame again, and this is 14.9 degrees going uphill, and that is a 26.8%. Yep. There it is, 15 degrees going uphill. This is a regular thing for me. 15 degrees is basically every field I have except for a couple. But I try not to square bale anything any steeper than 15 degrees. But obviously this field has places in it that's steeper than 15 degrees, because I showed you one that's basically 19. Sorry about getting in the tractor here. It's kind of difficult when it's not level. So yeah, hopefully y'all get an idea of what I'm dealing with when I do hay. It looks flat, but it ain't flat. Story of my life. I wish it was flat. I really do. It would be nice to have really flat places to bale where you could just go 100 miles an hour and everything's just fun and safe. But it just don't work that way around here. Accumulator's been working really good though on this steep ground. Since I did go back and put graphite on top of the stainless steel. The stainless steel wasn't doing it for me, especially if you got into high moisture hay and you was having to spray it with preservative. But it just the bales weren't sliding good on the stainless steel on the hills. Now, and when you get on a flat spot, the stainless steel was working great. But when you would go down a steep hill, which I'm going down a hill right now, it's pretty steep. It just would not. It wouldn't. Now I want y'all. This hill's not very steep right here, but I want to go back there and let y'all see what just happened. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is it just dumped a pack of hay, okay, and it did it just fine. And it also sent a bale down and it turned just fine. You can see that I have the gray slip plate graphite lubricant on the stainless steel. That really helped in my situation. But this is working just fine, and I want you to see that I'm going down a hill that is 10, well, basically, well, it's jumping all over the place, but I seen 11 degrees. I see 10.8 the most, but anyway, it's basically 11 degrees right here going down, and it dumped the pack and a bale slid down and turned just fine. So I just wanted y'all to see that. It is working, and it does work when everything is set up properly. And in my situation, setting it up properly involves putting graphite on it. And the moisture of your hay has a lot to do with it too. If your moisture is too high, it makes things worse. But if you use the graphite, high moisture will still work on it okay. So anyway, that's kind of the point of this video, I guess. And oh, I was gonna let y'all watch the accumulator work while I baled, so you can do that. Okay, so y'all have watched me bale about 80 bales throughout the whole event here. Not while you're just watching the accumulator, but since I started baling, I've baled 80 bales. And it hasn't missed a bale yet. We've went uphill, we went downhill, we went across hills. I mean, there's every type of hill here. I know these hills don't look steep, but I showed you on the grade, on the smart level, that these hills are steep. So, and you know, there's a grade going towards the woods here, it's pretty steep also. So it is working good on the side of a hill. You may have to put graphite on it. I did, but I mean, the other one I've been using it on these hills for 7 to 8 years, and I've been pleased with it. Now, when I first got it, I had trouble. It wasn't steep enough, and they had to come put a steeper kit on it. Well, this one, it already comes as steep as the other one, so you ain't got to worry about that. And then I put graphite on the other one, and that helped. And then I was having trouble with the bales turning here if they didn't get enough speed sometimes if you're going down a steep hill, because going down a steep hill takes grade out of this. which means the bales won't slide as fast. That graphite also helps with that. But they added this. Mine used to just have this, my old one, the 1036F, used to just have a straight pipe. Well, now they sent me that upgrade with the fork that I put on my 1036F, and that really helped. Well, this one comes with it already. It also has this little thing that keeps it from snagging strings also. Mine doesn't have that, but I never had trouble with snagging strings on the 1036F. Apparently this one may have, so that's why they put the string thing on it. But anyway, you can tell this is a new field. There's still a stick here and there yonder that needs to be gotten up. I wonder if I can stick this on the loader here. Maybe that'll stay there and maybe it won't. All right, I'm gonna keep baling. Hope y'all enjoyed this video of how steep can a Kuhns accumulator bale on. Well, my answer is don't go over 19 degrees. That's what I say. And if you don't think 19 degrees is steep, get in a cab tractor and drive across it. But be very careful. You can drive across steeper. Like I said, I have a field that's 21 or 22 degrees that I round bale, and that is pretty steep. You might can go a little steeper than that with a good tractor with ballast, and it's a wide stance, but it feels pretty uncomfortable at 22 degrees. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. You have a good one. I'm gonna finish baling this hay and get it out of the field. See y'all later.